Hello. I'm live. Yeah, I'm live. Hi. We're week Princess Steps, thanks. Princess Steps Fall 2022. Week 7. It's great to have you here, and tonight's topic is safety. So we're going to talk, I think it's very timely to talk about safety because as you can see, the days are getting a little shorter. I'm going to talk a little bit about awareness. Whether we're crossing Front Street, whether you're crossing a street, especially when it's dusk or dawn and there's traffic around, you always want to be on the defense. The traffic isn't necessarily going to be paying attention to you because they're on a mission and on a goal and focused on getting to where they're going. And so you always want to err on the side of caution when you're navigating traffic, because if there's a collision, we don't win. The car wins. And so that also goes awareness-wise as whether you're in Riverfront Park or Minto or Bush Park or your neighborhood. It's always a good idea to have awareness of where you're at, what's around you. And I will say without a doubt, if you ever don't feel comfortable in a certain place, or if you're questioning whether or not it's safe to go there, what do you think the answer is? No. Resoundingly, don't go there. Just avoid it. So the best case is prevention. You know, as far as safety, the best thing to do is prevent a potential bad situation by avoiding it. That means if you don't feel comfortable on going to the back parts of Minto because you happen to be by yourself, you don't have your buddy to go with you, you don't have a pet to go with you, then don't go there. Go in areas where there are more people. Go in areas around your neighborhood where you feel more comfortable. Sometimes people say, well, the only time I can go and do my workout is early in the morning when it's super, super dark. Okay, so think about where can you go if it's dark and you're solo, because you can't find anybody to go with you at 4:30 in the morning, but that's when you can go because you have kids or you have other responsibilities. Where can you go that is absolutely safe, where it's very, very well lit, and where you are lit? And some of the leaders are going to talk about lighting and reflectivity and that type of thing. And also be sure and tell someone where you're going. That means you may have to plan where you're going. And I personally have had to do that a little bit more. And here's an example. I love going out to Minto. I've been going out to Minto for 30 years, solo, in the far back area, where now there's sometimes, I haven't seen it, but supposedly, apparently, from time to time, there's a cougar out there. Does that raise my concern a little bit? Well, sure it does. And I'm one of those people that, John, I'm going to Minto. Okay, now I'm telling him, John, I'm going to Minto. I'm going to do the blue loop, the green loop, and I'm gonna tell him this is what my route. So I have to plan my route out a little bit more for safety reasons, and he knows when to expect me back. And if it takes a little bit longer, it's probably because I ran into somebody that knows me, and that's what happened on Sunday. I got back later, but it was okay. I ran into a few different people. Imagine that, right? So it takes a little more planning and a little more thought, but it's more important to be safe than to put yourself in a situation just because you have to get that workout done. I know like Alicia and Amber have been, going out together a lot, which is awesome because they have one another. That's pretty cool to have somebody that can go. So when I say at the beginning, the very first night of the clinic, buddy up, get to know the people in your group, there's a reason for that. There's a real reason for that over and above accountability. That accountability and consistency is a big part of it, but safety is a true part of it too. How many people in week 7 now have met other people within the group and you're going consistently? And you have plans now when it gets dark and cold and rainy and you want to maintain your consistency, you have a built-in group of people that are going to help you stay committed, that are going to help you stay accountable and consistent through. We know it's getting dark. I say this every time. We know it's going to get dark, but you don't want to wimp out just because it's dark. You don't want to wimp out just because it's raining. You want to keep your consistency. So how are you going to do that? There's a few more weeks for you to connect with the people in your group and make those plans. I know some of you already have, and I'm very proud of you, and I think it's just awesome. You won't regret it, but keep doing that. For some of you that perhaps haven't, keep doing that. Keep those plans going. I just made plans to do a hilly run tomorrow morning with some people, and all of a sudden it went from 2 people to 3 people. Now we're up to 5 people just from talking about it. Yeah, so we'll be in good company, but we just had to start talking about it and that kind of thing. And when it gets dark, we're going to have a built-in group. Yeah, so that part is about awareness, and I'm going to invite the leaders to just come on up within your groups and share some information about your experiences and safety. So come on up. And just squeeze, yeah.
We can just do 2 by 2. Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Go ahead. One of the things I like to do is vary my route, different times, different routes, just that way no one's expecting me to be in the same place, same time, every night. I haven't had any issues, but I know the police officer who came always recommended that. So I try to kind of vary things and change it up a little bit just so that keep people guessing.
So also about being aware. Another thing that I know we've talked to about with the policeman that's come in is about being aware of your surroundings. So as someone's approaching you, memorizing what they're wearing, testing yourself. So even tonight when you're going out in your groups, you can kind of test each other randomly, be like, what is that guy wearing? What kind of shoes was he wearing? What color pants? What color shirt? Does he have a hat on? Just so that if something were to happen, you could easily describe the person. Also making eye contact with the person. A lot of people are looking for victims that aren't making eye contact, don't feel confident. So making that eye contact with someone and making sure that they see you and even saying hi so that they know that you registered them passing you.
I'm just going to piggyback on the awareness thing, and then I'll add one other thing too. But as far as awareness goes, when we're out running with my friends and whatever, we count cats. And it's just a way to not put your head down, right? It's a way to get your head up, get your head on the swivel, just be aware of your surroundings. So we find something to count. So we count cats. There's a lot of cats in the neighborhood sometimes. The other thing I want to add too is about lights and safety. I am a huge fan of the knuckle lights. I don't like anything on my head. Plus you blind your friends when you look at them. I like knuckle lights. These guys, yes. I think I've had 4 iterations of these. Super bright, they have a super strong, they have a medium, and then they have a flashy. And I also like just to run in the dark with no light sometimes, so it's nice to be able to turn them off. But anyways, far as safety goes, if you're coming up to an intersection and you've got a car coming in on another road, I just like to take my lights and flash them at them. That way I'm not throwing my head, I can still see where I'm going. I can just flash my lights at them, make sure they see me. I love these things. And then you just put them around your hand, you don't have to worry anything on your head. That way you can turn your head and look around, but you still have a huge, broad light spectrum. When I'm on the country roads, if I'm in the middle of the road and have these lights on, I can see the ditch on both sides. They have a huge spectrum. So anyways, I love these things.
My safety tip is I run with people. I don't go out alone. So we have a network which people will be welcome to join us after the clinic is over. where we text each other. It helps us with consistency, but I do it so that I'm with other people. And I'm always, 3 times a week, there's always people to go out with, and that's how I keep myself safe.
My tip is about the aftershocks. I am a music person, so I have to start out at least running with music, and I would never run with anything that's in my ears. The aftershocks are great because you can hear everything around you and know like where everything is, but still hear your music. And I mean, I can't believe that people still run outside with earpods. I think that's great for the gym, but like especially if you're running by yourself, because I run by myself a lot, and like with everything that happened the last few weeks with the woman who got
You can keep talking. I'm just going to demonstrate.
killed was it in Memphis? I think that just especially being a woman by myself, it's great to have that and being able to hear everything in that too.
So what the shocks are, they rebranded it and they're just calling it shocks now. We have a new display, so we invite anybody to come during regular work hours and check it out. So it's bone conduction, so nothing goes in your ear. So we can hear, as Alana was saying, you can hear everything going on around you. That's a huge safety perspective. And through bone conduction, you can hear the sound of what's going on in your through these, and it's Bluetooth. And you can even answer a phone, clicking the button here. You can adjust the volume. This one is a mini because my head is small, and then we have regular size. The mini is slightly smaller than the regular size. So come and check out Shocks if you're one of those people that needs to have music or tunes or a book or something like that. Always, always, always be aware of your surroundings. Awesome. Thank you.
Nice work.
I agree with the shocks. And I'm going to go with awareness again. And I think a lot of us are touching on awareness because it is so, so critical. I'm going to tell you a little story. I was out shopping and I went to PetSmart and to Walmart, and I kind of parked in between the two of them. And I went to PetSmart and I bought my stuff and I put it in my truck and I shut the door and I locked it, and I thought I was being very cool, and I was walking to Walmart with my purse, brought with my purse on my shoulder, and it was kind of being like weird, and I thought, oh, I'll just cross-body it, and so I grabbed it, and as I cross-bodied, I kind of looked behind me, and you know what I saw? There was a guy coming up on me, and as soon as I cross-bodied my purse, he stopped and turned around. That dude was going to steal my purse. Are you kidding me? And I'd like to think that I was tough enough that I'd be able to grab it and bring him in and knee him one in the groin. But I don't know. So my tip to you is, if you don't have a purse that cross bodies like this, get one. If you have a purse that you have to put on your hand like this, I really honestly would look into getting a crossbody purse, and then I always put the flap of it inside here, because it's a lot harder to pickpocket that way than it is, if the purse is out that way. So whether you're walking with a group in Minto or anything, don't be the victim. I was a victim. I was setting myself up as a victim. Number one, I wasn't being as aware as I should, and I was making myself a victim. Don't make yourself the victim. Don't put yourself in that place. Always protect yourself by your actions, by your confidence, and by your actions, and then they'll think twice about coming at you. So think about it. Still my purse.
So I'm going to kind of draw from trail experience. I've seen a lot more people starting to hit the trail. So kind of going along with what everybody's saying, one, before leaving the house, make sure you've done a check and you've got all your things. Water is very important to have, whether you're running in town, out on the trail. maps. So if you're going to a park, make sure you know, okay, this goes this way, I went this way, so that if you get turned around, you know exactly where to go to get back. Maybe even pull up on your phone before you go, see if there's a map of the park to kind of help you locate yourself. Phones can be great out on the trail, but they can also be a problem in that using GPS can drain your battery really quick. So if you are going out on a trail, be aware of that, and mindful of your battery power. And huge on maps. But also with hitting the trail, check in with the managing forest, whoever's managing it, whether it's BLM or the National Forest. They have all different kinds of names that, of course, are escaping me right now. You're going to find closures there, so that way you won't end up at a trail and find out you can't do anything and feel like you've wasted your day, and well, I'm just going to go and do something anyway, but maybe so just another tip.
Heather, also, if it's a fire danger,
Yes.
don't go on the trail.
Yeah, watch when you get to the trailhead, make sure you're reading the signboards for any other notices of closures or anything like that, because the trailhead may be open, but a little ways down the trail you might run into some issues too. Yeah, that's a good one. And watching for fires, especially these last few years.
I'm going to briefly touch on clothing and being seen, especially in the dark. So I know people have brought up the knuckle lights, which I'm a huge fan of as well. And I also have a vest that I wear, or it's just a lighted piece that I also wear when I'm out solo too, just so people can see me from all angles. So, and reflective clothing. So, you know, just little pieces on your clothing that reflect and everything. So just kind of be aware of what you're wearing when you're outside, especially with the temperatures dropping and getting a little bit cooler, that some of those reflective pieces on your outerwear especially is very important.
If you guys have any more questions about trail safety, let me know. Because I've got more tips.
Okay. So Danae Johnson, Cheetah Leader, and just kind of hitting on awareness groups, but then also technology. So there's a lot of apps out there. I think Life 360 is one that a lot of people use, where you can track family members, and so letting someone know where you're going and having the ability to track you. A lot of our watches have safety features, so like for example with mine, if I'm feeling like I'm in danger, hit this. It's now going to start getting ready to send something out, and now it's getting my location and it's going to send it to my 3 contacts in here. So I am going to cancel that. Though I did text them and let them know that they might be receiving a text. And then also something that I just picked up recently is a little alarm. So some people might carry pepper spray. They also make little alarms now where if you pull it, it'll go off.
So here's the pepper spray.
Pepper spray.
And here's the ripcord sirens.
With flashing light, it looks like.
That's right. You can get all this stuff at Gallagher Fitness Research.
Susan, does it say how long, like the Nathan alarm lasts?
This one?
I think until you put it, at least the one that I don't have the Nathan, until you put it back in. So you pull the
I'm thinking
pin.
like out on the trails as well. I'm lost.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
So utilize.
Actually, it says runtime 30 plus minutes.
Okay.
So that's a long time.
You might be deaf by then.
Right.
All right, and I'll wrap up kind of, I don't know, preparedness comes to mind for me. So we're kind of coming off of the hot, maybe, we'll see about that, hot weather that makes us thirsty and we're continually running dehydrated. So I often have my water bottle with me, and I have a couple different packs, like a belt with a couple of bottles, this one, and then another handheld that I like to keep with me to stay hydrated, because I don't do the best job at staying hydrated daily. So that's one thing of preparedness. The other is with the change of seasons. Yes, it's getting darker. Our routes might be changing. Our times might be changing as schedules, might adjust. And just being prepared with lights. What do you carry in your car? Do you have a bag for running or walking that you keep packed? I tend to do that, and I bring it every week or when I go running. So it's got kind of my essentials, like an extra water bottle. My lights, I also use knuckle lights, and I love those, although I think I need to get a new pair. And just things like that. As the weather gets colder, gloves, is it time to start packing gloves, long socks, anything that you might need to keep you comfortable. The more comfortable you are, the more aware you stay as you get tired. You're still not fighting, I'm uncomfortable and I'm tired. You're still out there going. And then you can just stay safe, comfortable, and enjoy your time outside.
Okay, a lot of talk about the knuckle lights. In addition to knuckle lights, there are the traditional headlights. This is an example that I like. And so it swivels up and down like this, and super, super lightweight. Also, sorry if I don't mean to blind you guys, but so it dims as well. And then when you hit this one here, let's say, like they were saying earlier, there might be a time where you're talking to somebody and you don't want to blind them, so you can actually go like this and it turns off, and then it turns back on, off and on. You can also make it be a red light where you can see enough, like say you're using it in a campsite. So there's a lot of different options for this particular light that we also have here. For those people who don't want to do a knuckle light but are okay with a headlight, there's some awesome headlights out there too. Okay. So any questions about safety from anyone that's here tonight?
I know that those ones I think are rechargeable, but last clinic I learned from Alicia to bring batteries, because your stuff that's in there might have ran out of batteries since you last used it. And so I've used that tip.
That's right. The new ones are rechargeable, right? Yeah, and this one also is rechargeable. So a lot of things, a lot of the electronics now and technical gadgets are rechargeable. So that's really good. Okay, so practice out there having awareness of what's going on around you. Get in the habit of letting people know where you're going if you're by yourself. And also, that kind of wraps up the safety part. I just want to remind you that next week, week 8, is, in addition to it being injury prevention week, at which point your homework will be backed off, it's also girlfriend night. So I encourage you to consider who you might bring as our guest that you think might be interested in the clinic. And we're going to talk a little bit about what the clinic is about. And the topic, again, is injury prevention. So that's also a really, really awesome topic. Let's see. Let your girlfriend know that, let's say she's going to be in a walk group and you're not in a walk group. Either go with her or make sure you introduce her to the leaders, perhaps, or someone in the group that she's going to be going with, just to make it, comfortable for her and welcoming and all that kind of stuff. So that's it for now. We'll see you next week. Have a great week and be safe.